We have breaking news to get to on Long Island. An uptick of cases in Suffolk County now being linked to several 4th of July parties. At one of them, nearly a quarter of those partygoers tested positive for COVID-19. Now, this is all coming as new cases in Suffolk County hit triple digits today. That's for the first time since June 1st. Suffolk's cases make up more than 10% of the state's daily total. News 4's Greg Sergel live in Holtsville. Greg, that's where we understand one of those parties happened.
That's right, Natalie. The county executive talked about it in a news conference he ended just a short time ago. His message for the community was stark and frightening. Suffolk's COVID-19 numbers, he said, are moving in the wrong direction. Over 100 have tested positive in just the last 24 hours alone. As you said, the first time that's happened since the end of May. Now, the cause, according to the county executive, a number of July 4th backyard holiday parties where he says folks were apparently not wearing masks or adhering to social distancing. At the one party in Holtsville, 4 people tested positive, nearly a quarter of all of those who were at the party. The county executive also pointed out that the majority of the positive cases are people aged 30 and under, including 10 lifeguards from Ocean Beach who also tested positive. The county executive's message this afternoon: the fight against COVID-19 is far from over. He told residents to wear masks, social distance, and if you were at a July 4th holiday party and you're not feeling well, make sure to get tested right away.
That is my major concern today, driving this epidemic to the ground. This is what we've done in New York, and we've come too far to move in the other direction now. The key to driving this epidemic to the ground is wearing face coverings.
It upsets me that people take it so nonchalant. I'm concerned. We got to put an end to this situation.
You can't just think that everything is normal just because certain phases are opening back up. You should still take certain precautions just for yourself and your loved ones at home.
Now, interestingly, the county executive said none of these July 4th parties violated the social gathering rule of 50 people or less. He said simply the folks at these parties weren't wearing face coverings and weren't social distancing. The good news, for the 3rd day in a row, Suffolk County had no new deaths as a result of COVID-19. Moving forward, the county executive said that he would step up enforcement, and contact tracing is now underway to try and figure out where these new cases came from. We're in Suffolk County tonight. Greg Sergel, News 4 New York.
Okay, Greg, the early warning there in Suffolk County. Let's talk now about a new plan in the city to catch these kinds of cases more quickly. It's a 15-minute rapid coronavirus test. Let's go to News 4's Andrew Siff live in the East Village to explain exactly how this is going to work, Andrew.
Yeah, Stefan, you heard that right. There are so many complaints right now about how long it takes to get your coronavirus test results. Well, we spent some time up in the Bronx today where the city very quietly was unveiling a rapid response test, results in 15 minutes. They say if it's successful at this initial test, they'll be making it much more widely available. In the Tremont section of the Bronx, an alarming percentage of residents have tested positive for COVID. So today, city officials rolled out a new test with rapid results within minutes.
It's something that we are, as we say, rolling out slowly to ensure that we have been able to replicate the results.
Health Commissioner Osiris Barbeau, well aware of rising complaints that many COVID test results have taken longer than a week to come back. She said the 15-minute test is less accurate, but still valuable.
If someone is positive, the likelihood of that positive turning out to be negative in the lab, at the public health lab where we run it, is going to be very low.
Those getting tested today got swabbed twice, the second sample going to the lab. Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. among the patients.
I did it. I didn't cry. It didn't hurt.
What is starting to hurt is the area's mass transit system. Now billions of dollars in the hole since the pandemic, and the cash promised by congestion pricing postponed indefinitely. On a Zoom call today, the MTA chairman said it's dire.
Without action by the Senate, we don't have a path forward without cuts that will devastate our system.
All this 8 weeks before schools are supposed to open. If the city meets the new state guideline of less than 5% positive cases. So far, so good. But with a slight uptick in cases lately, I asked the mayor. I'm wondering if you agree with the state standard of 5%.
One of the things that you've seen the state and city agree on is to be cautious. I mean, there's a reason why we have fought back from the worst of the coronavirus crisis.
And back on the transit crisis, the MTA chairman would not get specific when he talked about those potentially devastating cuts. But one example of what you won't see is new entrances to subway stations. This one on Avenue A cost about $40 million, which in MTA standards is pretty cheap. Nothing new planned to open as long as this financial crisis lingers. Live in the East Village, Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
All right, Andrew, thank you. And we heard you talk about that slight uptick locally. We are keeping a close eye on the key indicators here in the state of New York. Just yesterday, 1.5% of COVID-19 tests were positive. That's the highest positivity rate for New York in almost 6 weeks. Long Island is among the regions with the highest percent of positive cases. That's at 2%. And the tri-state quarantine travel restrictions expanded again today. Governor Cuomo added another 4 states to the list. So to get you up to speed, take a look. It now includes Minnesota, Ohio, Wisconsin, and New Mexico. But Delaware came off the list because it no longer meets New York's criteria to be considered one of the hotspots. It all comes as the state is now requiring travelers from these states to fill out a form with their contact information.